Welcome everybody back to the Big Book Roundtable in the RICO 12 family of recovery resources. We're a resource to you, whether you are wherever you are, whatever your beliefs are, whatever your background is, whatever your addiction is, whatever your anonism is, we are here for you. RICO 12 is here to help you with that, and this service of the Big Book Roundtable is what you need to understand the things that are put out there for people reading the Big Book. My name's Justin B. I am a child of an all-powerful, perfectly loving God and a multidisciplinary addict living in the miracle of one day at a time recovery. I'm joined by David G. and Nikki M. The three of us are working this program one day at a time and experiencing the miracle of recovery. And I'm going to quickly get on here and have each one of them introduce themselves and get us caught up again. David, why don't you lead us off today? Share with us what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely, Justin. Thank you for your service. Nikki, always good to be with you, sister. I'm David G. I'm an alcoholic addict of many sorts. I've been given the gift of recovery since August 8th of 1994. I live in Oklahoma, the USA. Really just loving my wife and having a great time working with others, doing what we do here one day at a time. Excited to be back at the round table. We've been going for some months, but we've made it back. And God brought us back together for a reason. And really looking forward to diving into this chapter with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Nikki, you're up.
Hi, everybody. I'm Nikki M. I'm a grateful member of this fellowship and so many more. And I'm just so blessed to be at this table. This is our second time back after our long pause with my favorite guys. And I'm just grateful. I mean, there's nothing missing. I'm not, they say our addict life is our only normal one, but now my new recovery life is my only normal one. Like, I spend more time, I think, content and happy than I do sad and agitated. So it's just a great place to be. And this is such an important chapter. So I'm grateful that God is really using us. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, so we're from a triangle of different places in North America. I'm from Spokane, Washington. Nikki's from Toronto, Ontario, and David in Oklahoma. We got this big triangle that brings us together. It's upside down from the triangle of service that we have in our recovery rooms, but it is a triangle, and we're grateful to be part of that triangle. All right, guys, what we have here is we're continuing in chapter 8, the chapter to wives, and we're going to continue line by line through this big book. Get ready to learn a lot, and really, if you learn it and don't apply it, it's not doing you much good. So start applying the things you learn in this. I love how David wrapped up his share in the last episode. He said, "Buckle up." God told him to buckle up because that's what life is going to mean when we live recovery. We're going to be on that road and moving along. So everybody jump in, buckle up, and we're going to continue reading. We're starting off on page 104 as Wives of Alcoholics Anonymous, and we're going to do 4 paragraphs through the middle of page 105, the paragraph that ends in a fresh outburst. So let's get into that. As Wives of Alcoholics Anonymous, we would like you to feel that we understand as perhaps few can. We want to analyze mistakes we have made. We want to leave you with the feeling that no situation is too difficult and no unhappiness too great to be overcome. We have traveled a rocky road. There is no mistake about that. We have had long rendezvous with hurt pride, frustration, self-pity, misunderstanding, and fear. These are not pleasant companions. We have been driven to a maudlin sympathy, to bitter resentment. Some of us have veered from extreme to extreme, ever hoping that one day our loved ones would be themselves once more. Our loyalty and the desire that our husbands hold up their heads and be like other men have begotten all sorts of predicaments. We have been unselfish and self-sacrificing. We have told innumerable lies to protect our pride and our husbands' reputations. We have prayed, we have begged, we have been patient. We have struck out viciously, we have run away, we have been hysterical, we have been terror-stricken. We have sought sympathy. We have had retaliatory love affairs with other men. Our homes have been battlegrounds many an evening. In the morning we have kissed and made up. Our friends have counseled chucking the men, and we have done so with finality, only to be back in a little while, hoping, always hoping. Our men have sworn great solemn oaths that they were through drinking forever. We have believed them, when no one else could or would, then in days, weeks, or months, a fresh outburst. Wow, there is a lot of explosive stuff in these paragraphs, and I'm excited to get into them. David, why don't you lead us through them first in this episode and share with us some of the insights you have?
Yeah, absolutely, Justin. This is a beautiful chapter, and it talks about the sickness of the Al-Anon as well as the alcoholic. People have said many times, I don't drink alcohol. He's the problem. Why do I have to go to those meetings? Why do I need to work those steps? You read exactly why, and we'll cover that as we dig through this line by line. But it's just it's very important for not only the wives, but the moms, the grandmoms, the granddad, everybody to pay attention to what we do here. So as wives of Alcoholics Anonymous, we would like you to feel that we understand as perhaps few can. And they absolutely do because they have the experience now. We want to analyze mistakes. And I like to say not only analyze the mistakes we have made, but utilize the solution we have found. We want you to leave you with the feeling that no situation is too difficult and no unhappiness too great to be overcome. I can promise you, if you're a mother who is suffering from your child or your husband, that this, there is a solution here. We have a way out. I know it seems hopeless. I know it's heartbreaking, but I can promise you that the more you try to hold on and fix this person, the worse matters are going to get. Let him hit the bottom. Let him go to the bottom, and there's nowhere else to look. But I have experience with this in my own life because my son was absolutely a bad heroin addict. He was just dying. And I can remember, even knowing better from being in the room so many years, I was still trying to help fix him. And I called a person at that time who was an Al-Anon black belt. She was just a champion. She had sent many people my way through the years to help to get into the process of recovery. And the day came that I had to call her. And, she said, "David, I want you to pray." And I said, "I'm not going to pray anymore." And she said, "Why?" And I said, "Because everything I ask for, nothing happens. And she said, "Why don't you quit asking God for things and start thanking him that the boy is alive, thanking that the boy, has at least another hope, one more shot at recovery. He has another day on this earth. Thank him. Quit asking all the time, because you're not asking for your son. You're not asking for God's will. You're asking for him to bring relief so that you don't have to suffer so much anymore. And that's never going to work." And so I really understood that. We who have traveled this rocky road, there, make no mistake about this. We have had long redendas with hurt. Now, here are the symptoms of self: pride, frustration, self-pity, misunderstanding, and fear. Anytime that I'm sober, these things are happening. And like it says, these are not pleasant companions, because these are the things that most of us suffer from, even with no chemicals in our body. We've been driven to maudlin sympathy, bitter resentment, and look at where that leads. We veer from extreme to extreme, hoping once more that loved ones would be themselves once more. There again, we're not asking for God's will. We're just hoping the day will come that our loved ones will behave themselves once more so that we don't have to hurt, we don't have to worry. That's not the way it is. So, untreated alcoholism for the alcoholic, untreated alcoholism for the Al-Anon is to be found in this chapter. Let's look at it real close. Our loyalty and our desire that our husbands hold their head up and be like other men have begotten us all sorts of predicaments. See, there was no talk about God's will. God, thy will be done. God, whatever. I gave him to you. You gave him to me. I give him back. None of that. Look at what it says. We have been unselfish and self-sacrificing. Really? Well, the rest of these sentences don't tell me that. We've told innumerable lies. Well, right there's the dishonesty. So you've really been unselfish and self-sacrificing, huh? But you're going to be dishonest by telling innumerable lies. I can't make it to work today because I'm too drunk, and you're going to call in and tell them that I'm sick or that I had something else going on. So you're going to lie for me. To pocket our pride, to go for our husband's reputations. Yeah, that's absolute dishonesty. We have prayed, we have begged. I see behind that word bargaining. We have been patient. We have struck out viciously. There's the anger. Oh, yeah, but I am unselfish and self-sacrificing. Yeah, of course you are. We have run away. Look at the fear. Fear will cause me to do that, to run away. We have been hysterical. There's the drama. We have been terror-stricken. There's fear again. We have sought sympathy. There's self-pity. We have had retaliatory love affairs with other men. There's the revenge. Does that sound like unselfish and self-sacrificing actions to you? It definitely don't to me. And if you're suffering from any of that kind of stuff, those are the symptoms of untreated alcoholism. You don't have to drink alcohol to be sick from this kind of behavior. In fact, most of the time when you don't drink is whenever you're suffering from this kind of stuff. So when I walked into that meeting, I shared about in the last session, and I asked the lady, how can you be powerless over alcohol when you don't even drink alcohol? Here is the reason why. Bargaining, anger, fear, drama, self-pity, revenge. That's untreated alcoholism. You don't have to drink alcoholism or alcohol to suffer from alcoholism. In fact, the long form of the third tradition tells us just that. Our membership should include all who suffer from alcoholism. And that's exactly what it's talking about. Our homes have been battlegrounds many evenings. In the morning, we have kissed and made up. In other words, I don't want any more trouble. Let's just kiss this away. Everything will be fine. But the problem is self is going to return before the day is over. And the next thing you know, we're going to go through this drama one more time. Friends have counseled, chucking them in. Yeah, I'm going to throw you out. I'm tired of your crap. We have done this with finality, only to be back in a little while, hoping, always hoping. Our men have sworn great solemn oaths. And remember Bill in the family Bible, you know, the promises, the sweet promises of Bill. I have those if anybody is interested in those. But man, there are so many of them that he had found, that they found in the family Bible after his death. You know, I swore to Lois once and for all, I am through forever. I'm no longer the drink. You know, I am done. I am this. I'm that. I don't know how many times I swore that and absolutely meant it with all my heart. And before the day was out, I'd be right back to doing what I did again and again and again. I'm powerless. I have absolutely no power over this. The only power is a loving God. And I better hope I find him now. Because if I don't, this behavior will never, ever end. My mind will convince me it's going to be okay. It's going to be different. It's going to be this. But then the obsession to the mind will hit. I will pick up. The allergy will take over. We'll go again and again and again. We believe them when no one else could or would, of course, you know, because they're sick as we are. Then in days, and for me, it was maybe minutes or hours, not weeks or months of fresh outbursts. So, you know, relapse. I'm always going to relapse in this state of mind because I am suffering from untreated alcoholism, and so is my spouse. Until we both find recovery, until we both find God, there's no hope in this. I'm going to live this way to the day I die. And that's a promise. Trust me. So thank you, Justin, for letting me go through.
Thank you, David. I appreciate it. I've got a question for you that I'll ask here in a few minutes. But first, let's let Nikki go through and share her experience, strength, and hope on these.
I just love this life. Like, as David finished, it was just like so hopeless. And then I hear the joy. Thanks, Justin. Like, this is the reality. It's pretty dark here, right? Like, we're going to get into a lot of solution, but this is what a codependent, anybody who needs another human, I need you to be okay, so I'm okay, is the battle cry here. So we wives, we codependents, right? And I love this. And this is the type 3. This is the type 3 Al-Anon, the type 3 who can't take it or leave it, who when they want to quit and stop doing it, can't, and they can't control the amount of anything they take, page 44. We want you to understand, as perhaps few can. See, some of them out there, some of these people are type 1, type 2s. They can take it or leave it. They don't care. Like, they'll just move on. Nothing to see here. It's okay. Live or die. They don't care. But what about the type 3s like us? We want you to understand. We want to analyze. Well, we don't analyze here. Like, to analyze is to paralyze, you know, the mistakes we have made. My book, well, we're going to read it soon, is going to say that my past is my greatest asset and that nothing happens in God's world by mistake, page 417. We want to leave you with the feeling that no situation is too difficult. Did everyone hear that? This is because we're beyond human aid. So when you get here, you are at the last stopping place on the block. You're in the last stop on earth. So there is no situation that this room, this book, and this group of fellows can't handle. There is no unhappiness too great to be overcome. What do you mean, Nikki? I mean, even when you lose the people you love in the depths of addiction, you're going to be okay. You understand this? Because why? We've traveled a rocky road. You know, my brothers here know I was born into this disease of addiction. I didn't meet my dad till I was 18. And I told my mom the other day, I said, you're lucky, woman, it's 2026. Because, no, you're lucky you did that in 1974. Because if it was 2026, you'd be in jail for kidnapping. Okay, you went to another country with me. I didn't know who my dad was. Oh, and let's go deeper, Lynn. You even let another man adopt me. You know, we laughed. We laughed because I'm recovered and she gets it. She gets the truth. Because I grew up in this disease. Like, I have a rocky road. I didn't know what my dad looked like. This is crazy. I've had long rendezvous. My line out says whale shit, incomprehensible demoralization. And here it is, Al-Anon, codependence. This is your inventory, your pride, your frustration, your lack of patience, your self-pity, self, your misunderstanding. How about your need to be right and living in fear? Oh, I believe in God, says the mother in the corner rubbing her prayer beads. Yet where is God? You're worried about your son. Make it make sense. Like, make it make sense, woman who sits there every Sunday at church and you believe in God at your mosque, at your temple, but you are worrying about your son. Make it make sense. You see? So there's your character defects, and they're not pleasant companions. We have been driven. This is what drives you. See, these things drive you to, and you got to Google maudlin sympathy, self-pity, tearful, sentimental, often through drunkenness. Any of you Al-Anons get drunk with your lovers? I know, oh, shit. I know I've done that years ago. Nothing to see here. I didn't go to jail. I have no problem. You just weren't caught, Nikki. You just weren't caught trying to control your lover while picking up drinks with him. Bitter resentment, yeah. And I love this. We veer from extreme to extreme. Where do they talk about that, everyone? Oh, that's right, page 21. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. See, Nikki is the real Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Sober, extreme to extreme. Hoping, how about manipulating, managing, mothering, martyring, so that my loved ones can be themselves. Oh, I don't want my loved ones to be themselves anymore. I want them to do, say, act, be how I need them to be, because I like to play God. I like to run the show. So I don't even want my loved ones to be how themselves. I want them to be how I imagine them to be. Hi, I'm Nikki. I'm a fantasy addict. Our loyalty. How about and desire, my control, my self-seeking motives. This next paragraph, everybody, my line out says this is a codependence behavior. This is a codependence enabling behavior. My self-seeking motives, right? It gets me into all kinds of predicaments. We have been unselfish. My line out, lie. Self-sacrificing, lie from the pit of hell. This is all lies. I'm not any of these things. I'm Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I'm the actor on page 60, 61. I need you to do and be how I need you to be, husband, Justin, David, so I'm okay. You see, this is how, but look at me, I'm really nice. So you see, it's all lies. You know, to protect my husband's reputation, the family. This is enabling behavior. Prayed, begged, I love what David just said, bargained. You know, this is patient. I'm not patient. Struck out. I'm more dangerous than the alcoholic. There it is. Al-Anons, are you more dangerous than your heroin addicted son as you literally enable him into his deep death by giving him more money, by co-signing bullshit? That's why I said this is a real important chapter, because a lot of you people, and I'm going to say it, Grandpa could not walk at the end of his addiction. Who the hell went out and got his alcohol? I didn't say that to my mom. Who the hell went out in Bullhead City, Arizona? No, they were living in Prescott, Arizona, Prescott Valley. Who went and got him his alcohol, Lynn? He couldn't walk. We have been hysterical, terror-stricken, retaliatory affairs. Oh yeah. We're all mirroring each other here. Al-Anons, you're just mirroring your affected family with behavior that is exactly the same. It's disguised by different addictions. Our home, above there, I put my mind. My mind has been a battleground. This next paragraph is the codependence pattern, as the dry drunks pattern, the entire untreated Al-Anon world's pattern. Our minds are battlegrounds. You see this, and in the morning or in the afternoon, or how about a couple hours later after you sedate yourself, Al-Anons, because, nothing to see here. I can have a glass of wine and calm down. I can eat a pie and calm down, but they can't. I see this all the time. Oh, I'm just a sex and love addict, but you're drinking. And I'm not saying if you're not an alcoholic, but you understand, that's a whole nother podcast, you guys. I'm sorry, I'm digressing. And then in here, our friends canceled. Oh, those who do not understand. I'm going to my friends and my family, those who do not understand, telling me to chuck people. And then I'm just picking up another one. I'm just in the same pattern. God, I love this book. And then I'm back, hoping, being bamboozled by my lies. It's all hoping, wishing. This isn't, come on, we're adults living life here. Our men, me, sworn off, lied. That's all logs. This is all human aid, lies. It's all lies. And then we believe. My line out says, I lie to myself again. It's going to be different this time. It's going to be different this time. If only I love him a little bit more. If only I just beg him a little more. If only I do exactly as he says, he'll stop. And no, he won't. No, he won't. And then I relapse and I want to just die because I'm not picking up anything. I'm not getting under anybody. I just want to kill myself and kill you too. Good times.
Wow, this is dark stuff, but it's needful. It's good stuff. So, David, I have a question for you. So, and really, I'd like some input based on an insight I think I had here. This line you said, we believed them when no one else could or would. And you said something like, it's because I'm sick just like them. We're both on that same place. And the sick man's prayer came to mind. Bless this person who is probably a sick man, sick woman, sick whatever, just like me. I add in the just like me when I do that prayer. So I'm not othering or not making myself better than them. But talk to me a little bit and teach me what you mean by that so I can understand it just a little bit deeper.
Yeah, absolutely. My experience with that is that, I'm going to believe you as long as it benefits me. We believe them when no one else can because they have the hope. They really do have the hope that someday that we're going to be okay. But the problem is, it's that I'm going to be okay under their terms, under their conditions. It's not about, hey, you know what? I need to admit that I'm powerless. I need to be restored to sanity. I need to make a decision. I need to go look at the darkness. I need to confess. My second wife, I've been married 3 times. My second wife really wanted me to get sober because I made her life a living hell. And once I came into the program and started getting sober and having a spiritual experience, she really didn't want me to go to meetings anymore. She really didn't want me to hang around with people who were telling me the truth because these were affecting the things that she was doing in her own life too. She was having to take a look at some things. She really didn't. Okay, David, I believe you when nobody else would. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to go in there and tell them our entire life. And my answer was no, but I am going to tell it to one person. No, you can't tell that to one person. I have believed you when no one else would. She started using that as a bargaining chip, trying to get me to do these things. And so why I'm saying is they are as sick, or I'm as sick as them. They are as sick as me, because that's exactly what they're doing. or what she was doing whenever all of that came up. I believed you. I was on your side when no one else would. Now you're wanting to leave me because, you've gotten sober. You're ready to move on. No, that's not why I'm looking to leave. You're in the same world that I left. I don't want to be there anymore. I'm drawing closer to the spiritual experience of my creator. You want to stay in the darkness. I don't want to stay there. And I'm not staying around for that anymore. So, you know what? You believed me when nobody else would, but you need to look at your belief system at that time because it was still governed by self. So for me, that's a pretty deep sentence. So anyway, thank you, bud.
Yeah, and thank you for sharing your experience with that. That opens my eyes a little bit more to this whole situation and really helpful for me. Nikki, the question I have for you comes from something that David said also. He said, you've got to let them hit bottom. And when he said that, you were like, yes, you do. Talk to me. Why do we need to let our loved ones hit bottom? Whether our loved one is an Al-Anon, whether our loved one is the addict, why do we need to let that person hit bottom and not try and save them?
That's a big question, and I want to answer it. You're going to kill them. Straight up. You're going to kill them. And I'm watching a lot of people. I want to send this episode to so many people. I'm just so filled with emotion because we're soul surgeons here, and a lot of people are dying. I'm watching people, especially with their sons right now. And they're not drinking, you guys. 2 people I know, their sons have nothing wrong with them, but the moms are coddling them and enabling these 29-year-old, 30-year-old men that aren't leaving the house, and it's through worry. They're so worried, their fear, what's going to happen, shaking the bottle of anxiety pills. And I'm not a doctor. The disclaimer is go to your doctor if you need to, but I can clearly see this is a spiritual solution. These women are killing their children. Like, I'm watching them and my son, and I'll tell you the difference. And why do I say that? Because I'll never forget the day I had to say to my son, if you're going to live in this home like that, you're going to have to follow the rules or go. And he went, and I didn't think about him. You know what I did? I turned my thoughts to someone I could help. I turned my thoughts. I can't help my son. I couldn't help him. And he wasn't doing anything crazy. No, it wasn't like David's son. Not that it's worse or better. There was no heroin involved. He was a young boy. And by leaving this boy alone, this young man alone, this guy is independent. He gave me money the other day to redo some things in my house. I say to him, what do you need? Nothing, Mom. I did nothing for my son, and he had to figure it out. We are enabling an entire generation of children, young adults that can't figure it out themselves. So it's back to my mom. Her husband couldn't walk. I would call and say, how are things going? I knew never to call at night because they both drank, and I'd call in the morning. And how are things? Fine. That's why we don't use the word fine in my house anymore. It's not allowed. Nothing is fine. So I don't enable anybody. When my mom was upset recently, she can either figure it out and do the work, or if that's working for you, do it. I'm not the arbiter of anyone's life. And so this is very radical out there, everybody. Leave people alone. We set a commitment in step 3. We were going to not play God. And then we said we were going to believe in a power, but you still play God and you don't believe in this power. I had to talk to a spiritual leader of mine who wants me to believe in her God, her Jesus. And I turned around and said, you want me to believe in your God, but you are worried about your son. Can you make that make sense? You understand this goes very deep. So again, how strong is your God? Why are you worried about the people in your life? I would say you need a more powerful God and to mind your business. I hope that answers the question.
Thank you for going through that, Nikki. That does answer the question, and I think it will be helpful for others to hear. If I try and rescue somebody from their bottom by coddling or whatever that looks like. I'm actually killing them. I'm actually causing more harm than good. And I think that's my takeaway, is that I need to allow others to hit that bottom and not be so concerned about it. Trust that, once again, that prayer. I love this prayer. God, you gave him or her to me. I give him or her back to you. And step back and let it happen. I love that. David, what's your takeaway today from our conversation?
Well, I feel it would be the very same thing as Nikki described, and you just now, added to. If I want you to sober up on my conditions so that life will be better for me and for you, then I'm playing God. And our book clearly states that does not work. So for me, with my son, when I stepped back and let him hit bottom, it wasn't because I hated him, because I disliked him. It's like she said, he is going to die if I don't do this. I don't have the power to overcome this illness in my life, in your life, in his life, or anyone else's. Only God has that power. And I know from my own experience that until I reach that kind of a bottom, no human aid, this book has told me over and over and over, no human aid is going to be able to bring that kind of defense. That means not my wife, not my sponsor, not my AA group, not whatever fellowship I'm in, not a church family, no human being can provide that kind of defense. My book says on page 43, this defense must come from a higher power. And so either God is or he isn't. What's your choice to be? Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, David. Powerful. Nikki, what's your takeaway from our conversation today?
Well, that no situation is too difficult. No unhappiness is too great to be overcome. Na 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 boo boo. We understand. It's a great life and we're happy, joyous, and free. And you can join us.
Thank you, Nikki. Yeah, everybody join us. Join us in this fellowship of the Spirit. Come trudge this adventurous, sometimes hard, often hard, when we have to let somebody hit bottom. But it's an amazing road of happy destiny with us. Work it. You are worth it.